The election of Pope Leo XIV comes at a time of complicated geopolitical situation. The very first words he spoke as pontiff when he stepped onto the balcony in St. Peter's Square was,
La pace sia con tutti voi.
We have an American administration led by President Trump that has taken a particularly hard line on issues such as immigration. That is a topic where we may see the Vatican and Washington clash going forward. Pope Leo XIV was born in Chicago, and his name is Robert Francis Prevost. Although he's American, he actually spent much of his life in South America, particularly in Peru. Pope Leo XIV inherits a deeply divided church. Under his predecessor, Pope Francis, this deep rift emerged between conservatives and progressive wings within the Catholic Church. So Pope Leo XIV really faces the challenge of trying to heal this rift, of trying to unite the church, and while carrying on the legacy of Pope Francis. Pope Leo XIV is the first American pope in the Catholic Church's 2,000-year history. And the conventional wisdom was that there would never be an American pope. The reason for that being that America is already a superpower. It would be adding power to something that is already a very powerful country. So it was very surprising that Prevost did become pope. Leo XIV's predecessor, Pope Francis, was openly critical of the Trump's administration anti-immigration policy, and there's indications that Pope Leo XIV, as cardinal, was also critical of this anti-immigration posture. In fact, in his speech, he twice spoke of the need of the church to act as a bridge. The term bridge is something that Pope Francis had used to criticize Trump's immigration policy, saying we should be building bridges, not walls. When J.D. Vance earlier this year tried to use Christian doctrine to defend the Trump administration's migration policy,
there's this old school, and I think it's a very Christian concept, by the way, that you love your family, and then you love your neighbor, and then you love your community, and then you love your fellow citizens in your own country, and then after that, you can focus and prioritize the rest of the world.
Then Cardinal Prevost rebuked him, saying, there aren't these kind of concentric circles of love, but a Christian theory of love is much more inclusive than that. On some of the other divisive issues for the Catholic Church, some of these issues that have caused this rift between progressives and conservatives, his positions are less clear, such as priestly celibacy, whether to ordain women, and same-sex blessings. Trump has made it clear he wants to meet Pope Leo XIV.
To have the Pope from the United States of America, that's a great honor. That's a great honor.
I think it'll be interesting to see how that relationship evolves, perhaps in a way that is maybe a little bit less fractious than it had been under Pope Francis. Pope Leo XIV is expected to be a unifier. He's seen as someone who both conservatives and progressives within the Catholic Church can get behind. Since Trump came to power, the US has become synonym to the Trump administration in the eyes of many countries around the world, and having another prominent leader who is American will help give a more complex and more diverse picture of what America is like today.